We've been doing well is somewhat of an understatement. They know we are here. Some of us have taken it upon themselves to act without orders and to carry out missions that they were not given. But nevertheless, we must adapt to this. As I said, they know we are here, so we need to act quieter. Killings must be quiet, not loud. It is something that, well, before I arrived, I assumed that whoever was in charge before me turned this operation into some sort of a battle, which it isn't. But you're all here, which is good to see. Minus a few, there are the more important parts here. Now, just hold out a little longer and we would get new reports from the circle. New ones, fresh ones on what we are meant to do. I'm waiting for the letter to come in. And we will receive new orders on what we must do here. From what I gather, they want us to collect some artifacts. But must not be too hasty about such a thing. As we must, well, be delicate in our actions. We do not want them figuring out the outsiders. We don't want them figuring out what we are planning to do here until it is too late. But of course, none of you know the plan like I do. But I must ask all of you to trust in me. Trust in the cult. Trust in us. Trust in each other. To pull their sufficient weight. And to complete our goal. I will tell you all when the time is right of our true goal. Some of you may never hear it. Some of you might. And I hope that when you do understand what we are doing here, you'll be pleased to be a part of such a worthy cause. Now, I understand that there is more recent developments in our story that I, the head, need to be informed of. Who wishes to step forth and tell me of what has happened? None of you? Who is this that waves? State your name.
Front legs.
Ah, good front legs. Well, what do you have to say?
Well, there are many meetings I had with some of the big brothers, and they speak of a murder of a witch doctor.
Interesting. Very interesting. Do you know of the murder of this witch doctor? Do you know how he fell? As this is the land of the undying, none of us can fall here.
Well, they had told me, and of course, without knowledge of the murderer, he did not know that I possessed the knowledge. The murderer, he is Sigurd. He had slain the witch doctor for necromancy.
Now, this witch doctor, help me, would you please, all of you who wishes to weigh in on this situation. But this witch doctor, could we perhaps give him a few notes? Someone go to where he used to live. Go through his belongings and place a little letter that said, some orders from some cult, so that we can pin the blame on him. And that, well, If any of you are under threat, the blame will be shifted onto the already dead witch doctor.
I have another idea, my dear head. Was this witch doctor not in attendance at the last meeting that these exiles gathered after our purification of Frosino? Was he not asking questions, planning to help to investigate us?
I have eyes in the meeting. So all information that they think they is safe. It is not safe at all for them. They are so naive in who they believe. They did not even vet anyone. They let them all in, spoke freely about certain things that they shouldn't have. And we know their every move.
The naivete, it truly is charming. Yes, and we told them we would be watching and listening everywhere. But I'm thinking, since the witch doctor was going to be part of the investigation, why not make it look like his death was because he was asking questions, and make it look like Sigurd works for us?
There's a reason that you have your position, eyes, and this is for it.
I have been doing this a very long time, my dear fellow.
Well, it is decided then. This Sigurd. I will wish for one of you to go into where he rests and places some bags. Our sign, if you will. Make it seem that he is one of us. Let the others, well, how would you say, tear him apart, whilst we watch at the carnage we created. Now, there is another plan I wish for all of you to say, or to hear, and this is perhaps more for fangs and eyes to hear. There is a man that lives in this land. He is the one who actually let us come back here today. His name is Kuai Liang. Kill him at the next market, regardless of where it is. As we must, well. I know I said that I must, well, how would you say? We must be quieter, but the killing of this man, well, perhaps throw these, well, it will throw one person off their tracks, as I fear, well, there is one Yamatai who is quite persistent in his searching, almost too persistent. Eyes, I wish for you to keep an eye on him.
Oh, I have seen him. He has been poking in many holes.
Too many holes. So perhaps if you feel for it must be done, then dispose of him for one day.
We shall look for a suitable opportunity. But speaking of the killing of Kuai Liang, well, in a crowded market, yes, we did it before to send a message, but there are so many people who will be prepared for this sort of thing. There are chances it will go wrong. I think perhaps better to kill him in front of, well, a smaller audience.
I did not know your assassins were novices and could not get out unseen, but if it pleases you, then perhaps we try and catch this man elsewhere, in front of others, perhaps others that others that trust him, so that it is more believable that he is, well, truly against us, as we do not want this place here to be found out.
This Kuai is a merchant. He must travel and make many deals. It should be easy to catch him in the open.
Indeed. Now, There is... once I receive the new orders from the Circle, I will let you all know on what we must do. I believe Thorax will contact you all on instructions from me, as I do not have time to write to all of you individually. But these orders will, well, they will not be your standard orders. You see, they are... what we are looking for is artifacts, I believe. And these artifacts are buried beneath the sands. Well, that is what I believe. Besides one, I think. But the rest, I think, are buried. They were required to be dug up. So I'll be looking at getting some friends and helpers to do that for me. None of you should do this, as it is too obvious, and your cover may be blown. I will use a cover that is expendable. But if that is all the information you wish to give me, then, well, I see that we should all return back to our work, or if you wish to speak amongst each other and use this hidden space, please do. But I have to retire. So, is there any other information that you wish to speak to me with? As this is the only times that you'll be able to see me.
We shall continue this council for a while, as long as you do not need your space back, of course.
No, I do not. This is here for you all to use, but only when I see it fit to call you all here. But, of course, I must say that if any of you, well, I feel if any of you are on the verge of being discovered, on the verge of talking and ratting us all out, then I will send Fangs to pay you a visit and to convince you otherwise. And all the riches, all whatever you are promised by our organization will be void. You will receive none of it. But if you choose to stay loyal, follow us all, work efficiently and sufficiently, then, well, the riches, power, women, will all be yours.
Oh, it would be very unwise for any here to even think of betrayal. The hostages we have outside of the exiled lands, they ensure your loyalty, as well as other assurances.
It has been done before. You are not the only ones among this cult. There are others in different areas. But, yes, bloodlines have been wiped out due to a simple mistake of someone. So please, for my sake and yours, as well as your loved ones, follow orders. But this time that I'm done here, you may all talk between yourselves. This meeting is now adjourned. You can leave if you wish, but if I see any of you leaving with your outfit on, I will. The Fangs will pay you a visit.